today we'll discuss about the various ESG and climate reporting regulations across the globe. So welcome this interactive sessions and thanks for joining. Over the next 90 minutes, we will make sense of the major ESG and climate rules regulations around the world. We will discuss each and every things, what you actually need to do as a professional, as a consultant, or as a sustainability leader for 2026. I will keep it very simple and who made it the rules, who it applies to, and what it asks for, and when you require input for 2026. So ultimately, you will leave with a short plan. You can start during this week as well. And if you require any kind of help in terms of technicalities, you can just contact me. So let's jump into it. So just to introduce myself, I'm Shah. I'm based in UK. It's very slowing moving the next slide. So yeah. So I'm climate and ESG specialist over 9+ years of experience and work with the various types of sector, including financial services, asset management, ESG, climate risk assessment, and various dashboards. You can also join with me LinkedIn. Most of the people are already on the LinkedIn. So happy to connect on that side. If you have any kind of queries related to your consultancy, related to your dashboards, related to the climate risk analysis and other stuff that are available for the ESG, climate, and sustainability. So today's agenda, we will discuss about the global landscape of climate reporting that is called as a non-financial financial regulations, and we will discuss 30+ climate reporting standard across the globe. So as a consultant, if you are sitting in India, you should aware about what things is going on in the Europe. If you are sitting in the Paris, you should also aware about what things is going on South Asia, what are the priorities. We will discuss implementation timeline for 2026, how you can prepare for those things. Understanding various materiality models nowadays are coming up. We'll see that how materiality is important. 2026 readiness checklist as a consultant, as a professional, as a student, or as a leader, or as an executive, how you are going to prepare your checklist for your sustainability journey. And few of the case studies, just a brief that how early adopters are taking initiatives in this whole journey. So whoever is joining a little bit late, we just started the webinar and lots of people joining from the various platforms, and few of them are joining here in UK live. So people are just interacting various platforms. And last, we will discuss about the various surplus elements on the ESG and climate tools that my team and various AI experts has developed. I will share the tools and how it's work and how it can be implemented in your consultancy or as a day-to-day life, which is simplified and make your life very easier. So I will just explain that tools as well as and share something at the last of this webinar. So here's the big picture. We have seen a sharp rise in ESG rules over the last decade, and particularly 2026 is a key year when several frameworks become a real for many companies, and particularly for the EU that leads with the most comprehensive set, and other regions are catching up very fast to achieve the sustainability and net zero goals. So thinking of the 2024-2025 as your build phase, and because of the lots of setbacks, and now 2026 as the first real reporting waves that are coming up finally for various types of countries and jurisdictions. So we will see the global landscape of climate reporting. Here's is the global landscape. If you are from India, you might be aware about only the BRSR, but you might not be aware about what things is going on in South Africa. Why it is important? Because it's a very cross-functional things, and global landscape of climate reporting and ESG reporting should require a knowledge and what are the key frameworks are going on. So on this map, you can see how rules clusters by region. In Europe, you can see the CSRD, ESRS, EU Taxonomy. So these acronyms, we will see each and every one, how it's work and what are the applicabilities for the company. Also, I will explain details about what timelines is, but for now, not that Europe mixes various financial and impact related views, and also the assurance related stuff. And here you can see the international standards and framework, which is TCFD, GRI, SASB, and ISSB. We will discuss this international framework and how they evolve and what are the existing situations. So you can understand better about the ESG regulations as a whole global landscape. So whenever you are doing your work, technically you are very sound on that side. So key climate reporting standard across the globe, which is a very famous, is CSRD. We will discuss in details. That is authority by the European Commission. IFRS S2, that is part of the ISSB. I will explain how ISSB evolved. SEC climate, which is again very controversial regulations as a US SEC on the climate side. UK SDR that already developed by the FCA. TCFD and GRI is again standards framework for the various companies. So now TCFD is going to evolve with the SSB and GRI still with impact assessment related reporting work. So we will discuss each and every stuff in detail. Make sure if you have any question, you can just put on the chat box. I will just check the chat on a particular slide, and then we will discuss on the various types of questions that you have. And in between, if you have any kind of question, just unmute yourself or raise your hand and ask me the question. We will make sure that this session should be simple and practical and interactive so that you can implement this whole sessions into your day-to-day life. So we will start with the TCFD, which is a very famous word. And TCFD asks 4 simple things that who is in charge, what's the strategy, how you manage the risk, and what metrics and targets you use. So even where new rules applied, TCFD is still the easiest way to structure your story and the data. So they now evolving with the ISSB. So ISSB taken this whole 4 core elements, that is governance, strategy, risk management, and metrics and targets. So you can see the global TCFD adaptations growth across the year. And now it is very much evidence that all the jurisdictions, global adaptations have adopted the TCFD framework. Yeah, so presentations will send to each and every participant, but you should make sure that you are joining all the communities that I sent before the webinar. Then only you will get the presentation file and the various tools that I'm going to discuss at the end of this webinar. So you should make sure that because it's automatic systems that arranged by the team. So that is the thing. Then GRI, which is a global reporting initiative standard. GRI is the most widely used sustainability framework. So it's built around the universal sector and various topics standards. You can see the general disclosure, economic, social, foundations, and various environment related stuff. And it's strong on the impact side, stakeholder side, and what are the contexts is there. Which is very much work along with the CSRD disclosure standards. We will discuss the CSRD as well. So this is the global reporting initiatives, which is world most widely used because it started very earlier, and it's a GRI compliant report you can create for your ESG standards. Then SASB, sustainability accounting standards. Again, SASB is now part of the ISSB. So make sure you should take a note of this whole thing so you can understand better which standard is going to consolidate which standard. So SASB gives you a practical comparable metrics by industry. And if you are in banking, you can use the SASB. If you are in airlines, you can use the SASB because they are giving a sector-based metrics. So if you are in software or food processing or in manufacturing, you can see the SASB page and you can shortlist your metrics based on your industry and based on your investors. So all the investors are following the sector-based metrics. So these are the very good way to make your ISSB related stuff reporting more decision useful because now SASB is part of the ISSB. So ISSB taking all the sector-based metrics and the standards from the SASB. So you can use those SASB metrics by to reporting for the ISSB. And ultimately, the game changer is ISSB. ISSB launched during COP26, and after the G20 mandate, they have lots of jurisdictions who are adopting those ISSB standards. So basically, ISSB has two sets. IFRS S1, which is a general requirement. S1 sets for the foundations, and it asks you to report sustainability risk and the opportunities that affect enterprise value in the same reporting parameters, and what are your financials, and to connect with the various dots across the governance, strategy, risk, and metrics. So it's very similar to TCFD standards. And think of S1 as the rules of the road. So if you are preparing your ESG report, as a financial team or as a non-financial climate expert, you can see the general requirement under the ISSB IFRS S1. The second one is very important, IFRS S2, which is a climate-related disclosures. So S2 focus on climate. It expects scopes on the 1, 2, 3 emissions, climate risk and opportunity, and climate scenario analysis, which is a very important things that needs to be reported. And if you can do TCFD well, then S2 is the next step, because in the TCFD earlier, it is very raw and very liberal form, only the scope 1, 2, 3 emissions, only the climate things. But now IFRS S2 is asking for the climate scenario analysis, and which is a very typical things to do as a small company or as a global company as well. So this is a very things that needs to be done. Here I'm just asking one quick pulse questions. Are you reporting into 2026 or not, or later? So as a company, as a consultant, as a students who are going to professional career started, are you going to reporting your ESG climate disclosure in 2026 or later? So you can just comment the year name and the particular standard name that you are going to report. So we will discuss those things in very much detail. Yeah. So next, these are the international standard that we discuss. Now we will move on to the jurisdictions based or the region based standards, which is very important to understand what things is going on for each and every jurisdiction. And as a consultant or as a consultancy company, you should aware about all the standard, because this is your business. So you can consider yourself as a leads generations for this kind of standards. So CSRD is the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, and this is a successor of NFRD. Earlier, European Union has introduced NFRD, and now introduced the CSRD. There are so many of backlash for the omnibus that is part of the whole structure of CSRD things, and now they give the flexibilities of the various implementation things. So CSRD is a big shift in the Europe, and it brings in double materiality, value chain data, digital tagging, and assurance things. So it applies to all EU large companies that are required to reporting, and so many of non-EU groups as well with big EU turnover. And implementation timeline, you can see the first reporting period, it's already started, but now they also give the flexibility to the group 1. From 2026 also, large companies are part of the CSRD. after 2026, lots of SMEs and the non-EU companies are part of this whole reporting things. So if you have not started anything for the CSRD, make sure that you started because it's a mandatory regulations. You can filing your whole auditing report in the XBRL or digital taxonomy or IXBRL format. If you are not aware about these things after the webinar, just connect with our team and we will guide you what things can be done for your, and it's a totally free consultations. There is no particular requirements on that side. So this is CSRD coming up, and CSRD is again based on the European standards, that ESRS. We will discuss that as well. Before that, CSRD, EU taxonomy regulations was already there. EU taxonomy regulations established for the investors and the policymakers who dictionary of the what counts as an environmentally sustainable activity. So if you disclose your eligible and aligned revenue, CapEx, OpEx, and various test activities, technical screening criteria, do not significant harm checks, this is where finance and operation meets. So EU taxonomy regulations assess those things, whether your CapEx, OpEx, and any kind of operation things is harmful for environment or not. And based on that, they have generated the whole taxonomy regulations. The assurance level is very limited. They are not asking to the particular things for assurance, but it's similar things to applies to entity subject for the NFRD and CSRD reporting requirements. So make sure for EU taxonomy regulations that environment objective of this whole things needs to be enforced so that you are allowed to do a business as a EU-based company or the non-EU-based company if you are into the EU regime. Then Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive, which is called as a CSRD. So it requires to company to find, prevent, and address the human rights and environment harm across their value chain. So it is not only the overall governance things, but also the whole operations thing. So here it's phased by size and turnover for the applicability. So EU companies with greater than 1,000 employees and 450 million net turnover worldwide, they have to report for the CSRD and how it's worked for them and how it's not worked for the various EU groups that can be reporting for the CSRD. So build a clear due diligence policies for compliance channel, monitor suppliers and various types of ESG integration. So here the key requirements for the CSRD. So basically it's a due diligence for the environment impacts on through your operations. Here is the chart, what are the implementation timelines and what are the high impact companies that are going to impact on that side. So in May 2024, directive entered into this force, and after May 2026, all the member state who are transport into the national law, they needs to report on that side. So every European country is going to apply to their home companies who are largest company greater than 5,000 employees. So likewise, this CSRD is going to be implemented. Next is SFDR, which is a Sustainable Finance Disclosure Regulations. Again, it's with for the finance and financial services related stuff. So financial market participant needs to report each and every their investment based on the Article 6, Article 8, and Article 9 classification. So here Article 8 and 9 is for the principal adverse impact statements they needs to generate. So if your investment or if you are an asset management company, then they have to report their investment based on the Article 8 and Article 9 if they have invested based on that Article 8 or 9. So this applies to financial product level and entity level for financial market participants. And that is why if you are from the SMEs or the small venture capital, investor asking each and every detail because of these regulations. So investors needs to report SFDR, PAIs, product level disclosures, and because of these regulations, they need all the informations and various stuff so that they can ask for the various stuff. So these are the part of the European Union related regulations, which is a major regulations that we discuss, CSRD, CSDD, SFDR, and NFRD and ESRS we just discussed on the part of the standards. Is there any questions related to that European Union related regulations? Feel free to ask. I can just check the chat. You can unmute yourself and just ask the questions if you have anything for the European Union related regulations, and then we'll move to the other region. Okay, thank you. So we will move for the SEC climate related disclosure rule, which is for the United States. So in the US, the SEC climate rule focus on what's financial material for listed company, larger file filters for the various large company, and with scope 1 and 2 emissions and climate risk metrics appearing in 10-K file. So that is parts of the rules are under legal challenges. So timelines can be shift again and again because of the political shift nowadays in the US. So the US SEC expects climate risk and emissions in the filings with larger companies first, and then assurance in phasing later. So here you can see the implementation timelines and other stuff, and what are the control evidence. And because of this sits inside your financial reporting process, you have to do this reporting. So you can see the filing format here, all the filing formats that needs to be go as a registration statement, and you need to register for the ITGAR system, that is a filing portal for the US SEC, Security Exchange Commission for the US. So that is rules for the United States for the stock exchange. Next, we will jump into the UK. So UK disclosure requirements, that is called as a UK SDR, that is part of the UK listed companies and financial institutions must report at the group level, covering all the subsidiaries. And the key requirements under the UK SDR is because of the anti-greenwashing rule. This whole regulations are coming up, which is a very good rule regulations because of the anti-greenwashing. Sustainable investment products. So if you are part of financial market, then you have to report under the UK SDR. Consumer facing disclosures, detailed product level disclosures. So these are the stuff that needs to be reported every year based on the requirements, and that is enforcement by the FCA. So you can check those related details on the official document link as well. Then UK SECR, these are the already live regulations. So SECR, that is called as a Streamline Energy and Carbon Reporting. SECR is already live. Large UK companies and LLPs report energy use, scope 1, 2 emissions and intensity ratio, and various action needs to be taken. So those kind of metrics you need to report, and applicabilities for the large companies, at least for the 36 million turnover and 250 plus employees. So all the large LLPs with small threshold also needs to be reporting. So that reporting requirements is related to that energy, and they are also asking your method consistent or not, and make sure your finance and sustainability teams agree on the numbers before your sign off. So your finance report and your sustainability energy report can be merged to each other. So this is one of the great regulations under the UK, which is called as a SECR. UK ESOS, which is Energy Saving Opportunity Scheme. Again, it's related to energy, and they already started since 2015, and it is all about the energy audits every 4 years. and use it to find quick wins and to find your transition plan, that how you are going to reduce your emission. And the next phase sets clear formats and that pushes follow through on recommendations. So don't treat it as a checkbox, because if you are into UK based company and undertaking 250 plus employees plus 50 millions and balance sheet exceeding 43 million, then you have to report on the various stuff on the ESOS side. This is very important that are coming up under the UK SRS sustainability reporting standard. And earlier UK adopted TCFD guidelines. Now they adopted ISSB because of the G20 and ISCO mandate. UK is also going to adopt ISSB, but they have tweaked some of that standards metric under the UK SRS, and they are also going to report IFRS S1 and IFRS S2. So ISSB standard is very important because all the jurisdictions are part of this. So UK SRS is now how the UK will localize the ISSB, and the key requirements is this, and they are implementing through the 2025 first, because already the consultations are started, and the first reporting period will be the 2026. So you should be ready for the UK SRS timelines, and all the double materiality assessment needs to be done. We will move on the California related stuff. Again, it's state-based disclosure, and it is very important that in the United States, as a California state, they are still taking very much leading on those kind of climate related disclosures, unlike of political shift. So California's laws will affect many global companies that do business in the state. They require to mention the scope 1 to 3 emissions, climate risk reporting, and third-party assurance. If you have significant US operations and sells into that, then you should join this radar, and you should understand about the SB 253 and what are the regulations on those kind of stuff. So implementation timeline is already here. They already passed the bill into the law, and by 2025 first scope 1 2 emissions they are planning to reports, and then they will ask for the scope 3 emission as well. So every companies who have revenues more than 1 billion, they needs to report under SB 253, and if you are having revenues over 500 million, then you can report under the 261 reporting work. So that is related to that climate related disclosure. Then we will move to India as a part of the Asia Pacific, or you can say as a South Asia. So BRSR. BRSR is a business responsibility and sustainability reporting. So India's BRSR is mandatory for top 1,000 listed companies and is expanding into value chain data, and BRSR is mandatory for India's top 1,000 listed company at this moment, and it will be leading to the other company as well. So it combines qualitative and quantitative disclosures and is moving into value chain reporting. So if you apply to this company, then you have to reporting under the BRSR. So all the disclosures needs to be done and enforcement by the SEBI. Top 1,000 listed entities are already doing those reporting work. So you should take care of various sections, that section A, B, C, D, for the various management and performance business conduct. Then recently RBI launched the Indian Climate Risk Framework. Again, it's based on the ISSB because of the G20 mandate. So the RBI is also moving banks and NBFC towards climate risk management and scenario analysis. So if you are financial institutions in India, start building your climate risk into the core risk process now, because the RBI expects banks and the NBFCs to build climate risk into the governance and risk management and various scenario analysis. So start with a clear board approved policy and simple stress testing you can do for the NGFS scenario that we can discuss on one-to-one consultation as well if you are require a climate scenario analysis. So basically Reserve Bank of India climate risk frameworks based on the ISSB IFRS S1 and IFRS S2. And the implementation timeline for the large bank implementation is 2024. Reporting period will be start for the 2025 and 2026. Few of the entities already reporting, few of the large NBFC, various cooperative banks and various large banks are part of this whole NGFS and climate scenario analysis. So they are taking initiatives. So if you are part of the financial markets, then you should take care of this whole new RBI based regulations. Then we will move to the Australia and New Zealand. So Australia has a good preview of what many countries are moving towards. So recently, New Zealand's already mandate TCFD style climate statement for large listed entities and big financial institutions. So it's a good preview what many countries are doing. And here's the timeline. They already started the reporting, and it's a very mandatory for all the 1 billion turnover asset who are part of the listed company. So if you are from New Zealand or if you are a global consultancy, then you should target New Zealand as a part of this whole climate related disclosures as well. And Australia is phasing its mandatory climate reporting aligned to ISSB. Again, it's a G20 mandate and ISCO mandate. So they adopted ISSB and they developed ASRS standard, which is applied to large Australian company. And they already started the reporting, and they reported they are reporting phased wise. So in 2025, Group 1 is going to report, 2026 is Group 2 is going to report based on the turnover, and 2027 Group 3 is going to report. So if you report in Australia, start gathering various data, scope 1 to 3 emissions. Scope 3 is very much important. Again, ASRS, Australian climate related financial disclosures, asking for the climate scenario analysis. So you should consider this as a part of your starting point. This corporate governance standard from the South Africa, no one is talking about because it's very important and covering all the South Africa related stuff, primary corporate governance code, and it's mandatory for the all listed company. Because European Union and the United States are very much famous and companies through they are taking initiative, but in the South Africa, King 4 is a governance code that many companies use to anchor ESG oversight. So it's not a climate standard, but it sets a clear expectation on the governance and transparency so that corruptions cannot be done, and that your climate reporting can plug into the whole governance standards so that it can be used to anchor your climate oversight. So here's the governance principle. So that is why I just covered this whole things, and you can see the stats all standard for the ESG integration. So all the top 40 listed companies under the South Africa, they are responsible for this whole report on the corporate governance side. So this is part of the South Africa King 4 report on governance, which is very important. Now we'll move to the Japan Tokyo Stock Exchange. Again, it's a part of TCFD and ISSB. So in Japan, prime markets companies face very stronger TCFD aligned disclosures, which now it's alignment with the ISSB. So if you are a listed Tokyo company and scenario analysis that are emissions and now core expectations from the various parts of region under the Japan. So Tokyo Stock Exchange ESG disclosures is required for company who are listed on the prime markets of the Tokyo Stock Exchange. These are the implementation timeline that are already going on. First market segment is the prime market, then standard market, and then growth market. Then Hong Kong related stuff, which is ESG reporting, stock exchange reporting works. Again, they are focusing on the double materiality impact assessment. So Hong Kong's ESG guides require boards to own ESG. They sets the deadlines for issuing the ESG report and now includes stronger climate elements. It follows various compliance and explain approach that you have to mention in your ESG report, but climate pieces are very much getting more prospective on the side. So quantitative measurable impacts, KPIs, targets that needs to be reporting part of the principle. These are the states and relevant developments for the Hong Kong related stuff. So you can see the graph of the compliance rate of the each and every company. Now we'll move to the Singapore, that how it's working for the various sustainability reporting side for the Singapore related stuff. And Singapore uses again comply and explain approach for your ESG report, and it making a climate reporting mandatory for high impact sector first, and then expanding to all various sectors. So it's flexible on the frameworks, but expects a clear board oversights and targets. So here is the primary components, which is requirements and climate related enhancement as well. They are already started mandatory reporting for the high impact sector, which is energy, transportation, material, and building industry. So SGXSR is part of the Singapore related sustainability reporting work. Till now, is there any questions or any curiosities to ask any particular jurisdiction-based questions? So feel free to ask. Just raise your hand or just unmute yourself and just ask. Okay, great. Now, Korean related stuff, which is ESGK, is part of the regulations, and again they are asking for the various implementation timeline and guidelines for the various things that are there for the various Korean ESG related stuff, and with larger KOSPI listed companies with asset over 2 trillion turnover, they have to report on the ESG guideline. Then we will move to the Canada related stuff, which is Canadian IFRS sustainability standard. Again, they have adopted IFRS S1 and IFRS S2. So Canada is alignment with the ISSB standard, and the Canadian Sustainability Standard Board guides adaptations for the ISSB. So they expect a phased wise reporting, and starting with the larger issuers first, then medium, and then small over the next few years. So here you can see the implementation timeline, and few are the carbon Canadian adaptations that are part of the various indigenous considerations and northern climate impacts. So they have to report on those climate standards. Yeah, I can see the questions on the live platform. So one question is from the Canada. They ask, can we prepare ISSB based report and submit to for the Canadian IFRS sustainability standard? Yes, you can. Just to check based on your turnover, the applicabilities and the key requirements, so you can understand better. So implementation timelines is very much important, including the key requirements. So Canadian ISSB standards asking for the transition plan and scenario analysis, which is very typical for implementing as a part of the ESG report, because it took time. So GHG emission inventory and the climate scenario analysis, this both technical stuff is taking very time to implement. So make sure this two things is part of the key requirement, and then you can submit your report as per the IFRS. Yeah, I hope your question. Yeah, thank you. In the European region, there are few country-based act and the rules regulations they need to follow. So that's why I just cover to understand. They have also country-wise act. I will take two, three only regulations for the Norway, France, and the Switzerland. So we'll see the Norway Transparency Act that focus on the human rights due diligence across the value chain. So if you published an annual statement and must respond quickly to informations that are requested. So it's a good model for building a basic due diligence and what are the applicabilities, key requirements, and implementation timeline for the Norway Transparency Act. So here you can see the key requirements, and they are taking it very seriously in terms of corruption, in terms of anti-money laundering, and various whistleblower policy. Switzerland is again a very great Swiss climate reporting work. So they requires to larger public companies, banks, and insurance to disclose their climate risk targets, scope 1 to 3 emissions, and various scenario analysis work. So it's very close to TCFD and ISSB. So applicability is for at least 500 employees and turnover more than the 40 millions. So the key requirements, as I already mentioned, for the implementation timeline is also they have to report on 2024, and then 2025 is going to expected for the extended version. So Switzerland Swiss climate reporting again is a very great part of the benchmark. In the France, Article 29 for the energy climate law is very important. So France goes deeper for financial institutions, including biodiversity. So because of the Paris agreement, they have a good fossil exposure. So if you are an asset manager or insurance or with French ties, then this is not optional regulations or law. So you have to manage and applicable to the all financial things. So implementation timeline, they already part of the full compliances, and you should explore this whole law for your implementations in your jurisdiction. Mexican Stock Exchange ESG Guide is also part of the whole listed company to disclosure ESG topics in a structured way. It's phasing by company size and sector with full implementation target, strong expectations from the various mid-decade. So you can understand better that how apply to all the entities by 2025. So it's very phased wise and company size, based on the company size, heading on full coverage side. So implementation timelines can be not affect to the companies very frequently. So it's very easy to report and easy to implement and easy to generate your team into your ESG board team. China security, again, it's very great stuff that China is doing. So China is standardizing ESG reporting for listed firms and starting with heavy emitters, so large caps, and then expanding to the small companies. So watch for closer alignment. Again, it's related to the ISSB and global standard over the time. So here, 2025 is the full implementation for all listed company, and then 2026 is enhanced for the aligned international standard. Yeah. Okay, so I just got message that due to connectivity issue, Hong Kong and Switzerland got missed. So Abhishek, I think it's your problem or it's connecting issue from my side. I will try to cover quickly. So Hong Kong is related to that environment, social, and reporting guidance based on the financial year. So they are asking the particular reporting work to the listed company based on the TCFD and ISSB guideline only. And for the Switzerland stuff, it is there for the 500 employees. So more than 500 employees and more than 40 million CHF turnover, then you have to comply with your ISSB guidelines. So basically they are asking for the scope 1 to 3 emissions and scenario analysis work. So you can report on that side. So here we are just ending with all the regulations across the globe. So we cover almost all the regions. I know few of the regions we have not talking about, for example, UAE, Abu Dhabi and other stuff. But because of this webinar, it's cover particular 30 plus, 35 plus standards. So here whole landscape of global climate reporting we covered, and we try to achieve that how it's work and how it's not work for your consultancy, your professional experience, and what as a company. So is there any particular questions for this till now? And I will continue on the next slide for the detailed agenda that how we are going to implement these things in 2026 as we discussed earlier. You can unmute yourself and ask me anything that you want to understand. Then we will start from the implementation timeline, and I will show you the materiality understanding and other stuff as I mentioned earlier for the tools. You can put your questions in the chat box as well. Yeah, so I can see the two questions for the CSRD reporters. Which standard that we need to follow. So you should follow as a European company for the ESRS standard. There are 12 modules under the ESRS. Each and every modules have a different metrics. And recently EFRANG, which is a body who are developing this ESRS standard, they have defined the different metrics and giving some flexibility to report for the European companies. So you should explore that. And I'm also explaining that particular tools. So if you don't have that information, that tools gives you the detailed informations and analysis. I hope I answered your question. Thank you, Raj. Yeah. So Zui is asking, what is the double materiality? Yeah, we will discuss in the next slide. Then which materiality for the impact reporting work. So GRI is very much focused on the impact materiality. So earlier GRI adopting various regions and still lots of companies are following GRI. So you can also follow the GRI, but ISSB almost taken all the jurisdictions as a part of the standards and the G20 and IOSCO mandate. So people are following in terms of financial materiality, and the double materiality is part of that ISSB. But GRI is very much focused on the impact side. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah. For the Zoom participants, you can unmute yourself if you have any questions. If not, I will just move ahead. Okay. So as Zui was asking about the double materiality, so here is the three materiality models. So different approach to determining what matters in your climate reporting. So three ways to decide what matters: financial materiality that ask what affects at enterprise level, and think ISSB and SEC is part of the financial materiality. For the impact materiality, looks at your footprint first on your people and planet, and you can take example of EU taxonomy regulations and parts of the SFDR that are very much asking for the impact related stuff. In terms of double materiality means financial materiality as well as the impact materiality, how your company, product, or operations impact to the earth. Right. And how your financial planning impact to the earth, and how your operations impact to your financial. So that is called as a double materiality that bonds both materiality. So the example is like CSRD or UK SDR, which model requires a double materiality, and that your rule uses before you design your process. So nowadays, double materiality assessment is very much famous in global standards. So you can use those double materiality assessment metrics whenever you are preparing for your compliance requirement. So overall, all the standards, the key elements for climate reporting standards is most regimes want similar building blocks. So clear governance, risk process that sits inside your enterprise risk management system. Various metrics like scope 1, 2, 3 emissions, climate risk, social governance related metrics with evidence definitely, and more assurance side. So some of that standards are asking limited assurance, some of that are standards asking for the various types of assurance. So you can plan for your digital tagging wherever it's required. Make sure that you understand the filing formats and understand what things is going on for your requirements on the stuff. So this is the company's compliance related requirements. That is all things that needs to be covered. These are the readiness checklist. So your to-do list, first map your rules, uh, your legal entities. Second, run a gap analysis against various standard like ISSB S1, S2, and CSRD if you are in the EU. So make sure that you have a gap analysis ready. Third, lock into the data owners for energy, emissions, finance product, and suppliers. Then fourth is like set up your controls and assurance dry run, that how it's work for your whole operation. Fifth is run a simple scenario analysis with NGFS at least, and pathways, how it affects on the revenue, cost, capex, and aim to report on those kind of style. So here is the key steps that you need to focus for preparation of 2026 final submissions report, so that you can take your company or your client very effectively for the climate reporting requirements. I can see the question from the Karin. I must have missed this slide on the SEC climate. As I understood, SEC was not implementing compliance on this or ESG in general. Yes, correct. So SEC is still under the process of implementing compliances. There is no particular requirement, but California has mandate those implementing compliances. So because of the political shift, SEC is planning to shift their compliance reporting requirements into the various phase manners, but still there is no particular issue on that side. So California only applies their climate related reporting work. I hope I answer your questions or not. Yeah, it's a state related stuff, California. not through SEC. Yeah. So both are the different stuff, but they are taking those kind of stuff. Okay. So now we will move on to the case study style. So here the learning from the various organizations who are part of the various regions across the globe. So here the Microsoft from the United States, they are definitely voluntary aligned with IFRS S2 standard, and they are preparing for SEC climate rules because SEC already published the standards and other stuff, and for the California also they are reporting on those stuff. Develop proprietary carbon accounting system. They also sell the sustainability manager software as well. So they are very much preparing for themselves whether government is asking for regulations or not. Similarly, in European Union, Unilever is very much early adopter for CSRD. They started data collections across the 12 module based on the ESRS module. And similarly, for the DBS Bank in Singapore, they are a requirement for the listed company as well as for the as a investment company. So they have to report on the climate risk assessment for lending portfolio, and they are integrating with the various third-party assurance provider. So the common success factor is they are engaging with the board and executive leaderships, investment in robust data collection system, cross-functional teams with diverse expertise, and proactive engagement with the assurance provider. So early movers started more than a year ahead, whether regulations are implemented or not. They pulled finance for the sustainability and legal into one team and involve various assurance partners very early. So they are very much early adopter. So they documented methods and kept assumptions visible so that all the compliance can be generate very but things. So that's the formula. I'm also copying whenever I'm just supporting any company or any kind of regulation stuff. So this is the one of the great stuff that we need to do. And before that, I will just ask a particular thing on the chat and the live. So what's your hardest data gap right now? Is it scope 3 scenario or the assurance? You can just answer in the chat box, and the live uh, platform participant can answer on the poll. And then we will move into the last part of the tool. And I will show you each and every tool that can be helpful. So Abhishek mentioned scope 3, Devika mentioned scope 3. In the live platform also, they mention scenario analysis based on the IPCC SSPs. Right. So for scope 3 is very much important because there are 15 category. You need to understand there is no particular requirements that you have to do all the 15 categories. That is first thing. You ask for your employees for the scope 3 emissions first, because it's a very easy data collection things, which is air flight, public transport, private vehicles, consumption of petrol, diesel, and other stuff. And for the financial institutions, only the scope category 15, which is investment related stuff, is important. So that is very evidence things, and you can follow that scope 3. For the climate scenario analysis based on the SSPs, definitely it's more complicated than the scope 1 to 3 emissions. So if you need any help to understand SSP scenario, because I can't explain in a words, I can share a few of the tools as well as the consultation call. So we used to do for the various companies here in UK as well as in Europe. So physical risk and transition risk, both are the different, and how it will be impact on your financial planning. Basically, ultimately, we are calculating climate value at risk for the portfolio so that you can understand in 2030 or in 2050, whatever turnover we have, almost 10% of turnover is going to be reduced because of the climate risk. So this whole climate value at risk require a scenario analysis based on the SSPs as well as the NGFS. So if you are, Zui, interested in this stuff, just connect our team with one-to-one consultation, and we will discuss on that your particular topics on climate scenario analysis. Any other questions? I will just move on the last part for the various tools and dashboards. Any questions? Okay. So now we will move to the tools and dashboards. So here you can see the ESG Navigator tools. So whatever things that we learn today across the globe, across the whole landscape, we have built an ESG Navigator tool to track your rules, dates, checklists, template in one place. So that covers real-time updates, also the benchmarking against various best practice, various automated deadlines, reminders as well, and template library for all major reporting framework. So basically, this ESG Navigator tool is giving you all the informations for all the regulations across the globe. We discussed almost 30 plus regulations here, but there are so many of other regulations who are available in this ESG Navigator tool as well. So if you require those stuff, I am happy to share those kind of stuff. I will just show you that how it's look like. I'm just sharing my screen. So here is the global ESG climate regulations dashboard. So what this dashboard is doing, so it covers 45 plus regulations. If you click on the executive overview, you can see the EU related, United Kingdom related, North America related, all the regulations. So if we click on the United Kingdom, you can see the whatever regulations that we discuss and all the authority, penalties, timeline, status, applicability, topics that needs to cover, key data requirements, implementation step, that how you are going to report, and the official link is also there that are coming up on those kind of stuff. So now its link has been changed, so that is why it's not found, but it's there for the all the stuff that are available. Similarly, for the UK SOS, you can see those kind of stuff, and you can also click on the official, for the ESOS, you can check all the documents over there. So basically, it's giving you the idea of how corporate sustainability reporting directive is applicable for your company or your client, and what kind of topic that we need to collect, what are the requirements for the CSRD. So this is a executive overview tab where you can check the things in terms of regional regulations and other stuff. You can also see the recent regulations update. For example, EUDR, which is again a forest related deformations related regulations. SEC climate rules remain suspended, as Corin was also asking the same. The second tab is organization matcher. So here you can see the select your organizations. For example, you are a large corporations. You have over 450 million turnover, and you have employee of 500 2,000 employees. So what kind of regulations that you need to report? So first you can check your particular jurisdiction. So if you click on the European Union, then there are so many of different regulations will be coming up. If you are from India, then you can click on those kind of stuff and you can see the particular requirement. Thanks, Warren. Yeah. Please make sure that you are joining the community to receive the whole details and the presentation. I will also share the link. Then regional regulations, as I mentioned, you can also check all the regulations based on the region. Regulations deep dive. So for example, in this tab, if you click on, yeah, Devika, I'm just sharing the things. I hope you received my email before this webinar. If not, I will just sharing the website as well, so you can join the community. Regulations deep dive. If you are staying here and view details, then it shows all the stuff that is applicability, timeline, topics covered, and step-by-step guidance. Then it's compliance roadmap. So these are the whole stuff that we do have. For example, you are part of the CSRD regulations report, and you are a consultant for someone else, and your client require an implementation timeline and whole roadmap. So if you want to create a roadmap, you can generate a roadmap based on this whole phase-wise manner, and you can also export the roadmap as well. So that is also there, and you can also schedule a review as well based on the timeline. So there are so many of stuff in this tool. Data requirements, again, it's a very huge thing because I try to compare CSRD, SFDR, and SEC and TCFD, which cover all the jurisdictions. So for example, if I'm clicking on the climate related data requirement metrics, then what are the metrics that I need to collect? So under the CSRD, as I mentioned for ESRS, you have to mention scope 1, 2, 3 emissions, others climate related scenario analysis and other stuff. Similarly, you can also quantitative disclosures for that. And here is the tag for those kind of stuff. You can export those metrics based on the requirements in CSV file. Then timelines and deadlines. So as we know, there are so many of regulations coming up and we are not aware about when we need to report. So here is the whole timeline that I created, which is again a different view. So here's the timeline view. You can also filter from here and based on the region as well. So you can also see in the Gantt chart view as well. So here is the timeline and deadlines related stuff. Then comparison tool. So if you are a consultant or research into that ESG climate related regulations, then you can also compare the various regulations and you can see the comparison table here, and you can also go to the particular regulations link as well if you click on the regulations link. Then search and filter. Each and every regulations are there. Total 30 regulations I updated here for the search and filter, and day by day I'm just updating all the regulations in this particular tool. So you are very much aware ahead of the curve of the reporting compliances. So it is very important for each and every person that you should aware about the whole climate ESG Navigator tool. So here is the tool that we developed as a Build the World, and I'm sharing the particular link for this tool, and definitely this tool is going to help you for your professional journey, and it is not free, but because of this webinar, I'm just giving you the code, which is giving some discount for this particular tool, and I'm just sharing the discount code and the link in the chat box. So discount code, you can enter the global 50, and I'm sharing the link for this ESG Navigator tool. So if you just click on the link, you will find the particular page, and whenever you are check out, just do a global 50, and they are giving you the particular thing. Now we'll discuss about the other tools, that is AI powered climate and ESG tools. So that is I develop Build the World team, and lots of AI experts and other stuff. They have developed lots of tools with me, and we have a huge climate and ESG marketplace across the various platform. You can also use this tool for your climate journey or your professional journey, and it is very much nominal cost. So if you want to explore, I will just show you the site quickly, and here is the home. So you can make your work easier for all types of tools. So you can see the company level climate scenario, where ESG score dashboards, ESG report dashboards, frameworks are there. I am showing you one of the tool after just showing this website. Here is also UK Water Energy Nexus, where we analyze the infrastructure gap analysis for the region wise. What are the investment or what are the resilience is required? GHG emissions calculator, scope 1 to 3 emissions. Again, it's a very important. For the Australian related disclosure mapping tool, future demand energy, and few of the Indian level Gujarat city budget analysis dashboards. Also, we are providing ESG reporting, sustainability strategy, and academy learning for the various stuff. You can also join with our one-to-one consultations. Devika was asking about the community, so you can just go into this website and just connect with each and every community. So you will get the latest update and the free tools. So you might not miss the opportunity about the various tools. So these are the website that you can connect with me on LinkedIn, one-to-one consultations, and join the community. We have a good amount of clients that are already using this kind of tools. So I'm just sharing one of the tool with you, which is a part of the ESG report dashboard. Yeah, so this is the dashboards that I created through the Python and the Streamlit app, and that is give you the ESG report across the globe. So if you select on a particular region that are related to that report, and it will be filtered. You can also select the 6 industries and other report type, new or subsequent, and you can click on the report, and you will find the report side on the whole detailed PDF. Uh, so some of that PDF are already there, and some of that PDF is going to update day by day. So it's renew all the stuff. So this ESG report dashboards is for ESG analyst, board members, financial investors, ESG consultant who wanted to explore the other firms report, and that are there for the various stuff. Similarly, various GHG emission calculator are also there. Lots of climate scenario analysis dashboard is also there. So each and every stuff is available here. You can just click on the access the dashboard, and you can just purchase those stuff. Just for this webinar, I added a few codes so you can find all the dashboards in a very nominal cost. It's a £1,000 dashboards I am selling with other platforms and my clients in the UK, but for just this webinar, and since lots of ESG professionals are there, it is very nominal cost. So you can, if you want, you can explore those dashboards. And for more details and more latest updates, more job opportunity, more insights, you can join our 4 community. Each and every communities have a different aspects for stuff. So you can join those particular community for latest updates. So I'm just back on my presentation. So yeah, connect if you want to explore climate risk assessments, scenario analysis, ESG reporting, any tools that you want to develop for your consultancy, for your client, ESG reporting. And to get the copy of this webinar, please make sure that you are part of all the 4 platforms so that you will send the file automatically. My team will send you the things, and here is my website for the various marketplace. So if you are into this field and if you are exploring the stuff, you can just contact me on that side. So yeah, is there any questions on that side? We can. Yeah, so Abhishek, I just shared the website link where you can see the details about the community links. So there is a WhatsApp group, there is a LinkedIn group, there is a YouTube channel, and there is an Instagram page. So in the Instagram page, we have just started Instagram page, and we are sharing all the major infographics that gives you very easy to understand about the climate, ESG, and sustainability, and a few of the tools that are available on the website. And I'm going to share few tools after this whole webinar that you can access, that I showed you the ESG report dashboards. So you make sure that you are part of this all 4 platform, and based on that only the system will send you the whole stuff. So I hope you enjoy this whole webinar. If you have any question, just ask me. We will have 5 minutes, and then we will wrap up the sessions. We wrap up the sessions before the time, so that is good. Abhishek, can you find the link on the website? Did you open this website? So basically, just go to the website, which is Build the World with AI. Scroll down, join the community. So if you click on this link, you will get the link. I'm also copy pasting into the chat box. For the YouTube also, for the Instagram, and for the WhatsApp group. So you can join the 4 community groups based on the requirements, and you can join with me on LinkedIn as well. We will have a few other webinars that are lined up based on the end-to-end ESG reporting. That is one, climate scenario analysis, and various other stuff that are going to be happen. So just explore this website purchase any particular tool, which is very helpful, and definitely it will be worth to explore. If you are interested for this global ESG climate regulations tool, I have shared the details about that whole tool, so you can just purchase by adding the global 50 code, so that you will have some discounts on that site. So you have to just enter the global 50 discount code when you are going to check out the ESG Navigator tool. So you have to click on the particular checkout on that site. So yeah, that's it from my side. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask whenever you want. If you want to discuss anything, just send a message on that side.